podcast, post 98 Rock Fest, where we tape this here on the Crash and AJ blog at 98rock.com.
Yeah, and big thanks, Janet, for coming out and being a part of such an incredible weekend.
I love being a part of this. What fun.
Yeah, it was a great time. Had by all, and thanks to all of you that came out and participated, and those that spoke to Janet, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a 3-minute time limit. You had a lot of efficiency going on there.
Yeah.
Mike Barbaro, man, set a timer. It was like, okay, gotta go. And he'd pace back and forth, be like, all right, I know it's time to wrap this up.
Yeah, and actually, we met a few people. I didn't, but I saw the picture you met of the threesome couple. They were thinking about the threesome when we first talked to them, and now they're a happy couple.
They came to. He brought both his ladies to the event and wanted me to meet them, and they looked happy as they could be.
That's awesome.
So I was really happy to see that. You know, I
do you
love
call them
that.
a couple, or you call them
A
a threesome?
throuple.
A
There
throuple.
you go.
Yes.
All right. So
Guy's daughter was just kind of shaking her head.
Oh, really? Oh, God.
He brought her too. I mean, he brought all his women to the party. Yeah.
Like, here I am.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so going into this week, we had at the time we taped this, the Bucks had the big win on a Sunday night, and everything like that. So,
yes.
What's the theme?
We have the moon. It is, although Mercury is still retrograde, we have the moon. It's the new moon in Libra. And I'd like to think that because the new moon is in the sign that Mercury is retrograde in, that we can begin to straighten things out. And it's important to know where you can make new starts in your life, because everybody's got Libra someplace in their chart. And the trick is to figure out where that is, and then to realize what you can put into what you can put into motion or not, where you should direct your energies to have the best possible outcome, the best possible results. So, and I think it's important to know that. So, starting with Libra, the sign that we're in, it's about them and interpersonal relationships, one-to-one relationships, and it's very, very good energy for Libra. They get to they either form new relationships, which are and they don't have to be. They don't have to be romantic relationships. They are just one-to-one type of relationships. It's a good time to form them. It's a good time for partnerships. It's a good time for Libras to get what it is that they want, which, and I'm kind of hoping it was going to be the Yankees that we would have to play, but I'm afraid the, who is it, Alex Cora of the Red Sox, he's a Libra. And I'm thinking, man, this could be them.
Yeah, depending when you get a chance to listen to this podcast. It's just been
I'd rather it be Yankees. That's one thing I hope to be wrong about.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Libras. It's a good time for Libras. Good energy for Libra.
Looking at the famous Libras I see right here, Bruno Mars, Kim
Dimples,
Kardashian.
and see, he's got dimples. He's good looking in dimples.
Yeah.
Because that's Will Smith is also a Libra, good looking with dimples. Cheryl Teague's still beautiful at 71, a Libra with dimples. I think they're about the best looking people there are.
There's Snoop
Bar
Dogg
none.
hanging out.
Snoop-a-loo!
He just got a new partnership apparently with a couple of his old friends about to do the Super Bowl halftime show. Matter of fact, with Eminem's actually one of those Libras too. So
Oh, wow.
what you're saying is kind of like
A big week for them,
Yeah.
Very
All right.
cool stuff, and it's good to get in front of the people again too.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing for them, for Libras. For Scorpio, it's a good time to sit back and just shut up.
Okay.
I think that Scorpios everywhere, the best thing they could say is, I will take that under advisement. But because this new moon is in their 12th house of their own undoing, whoever it is that's been sort of working behind the scenes against the Scorpio, at least they step into the light. You can see who they are. You can see how to deal with it. That's the kind of thing that
you had a
Scorpios.
hunch that you're like, man, I think somebody's.
Yeah, and
Career.
it's one thing when it's an open enemy who says, I'm going to get you if it's the last thing I do. And you go, okay, bring it. The trouble with secret enemies are these are people you think are on your side, and then you find out they're not when they stab you in the back. And I think our president's one of those guys going, yeah, I think I'll take all of that under advisement right now. I'm not sure what I need to do about any of this.
Okay.
So it's that kind of energy. And all they can do is get themselves in trouble by talking now. That's the whole thing about having the right to remain silent as well as the ability. And it's a good thing just for them, for Scorpios everywhere, just trying to take a step back and kind of take it under advisement kind of deal.
Okay.
For Sagittarian, this is great energy for Sagittarians. My favorite part about this is that for Sagittarians, they're going to either talk the group into doing something that benefits the Sagittarian, or the group is going to offer something to the Sagittarian that benefits the group, but also benefits the Sagittarians. It's a very symbiotic kind of thing. It's the type of thing where Sagittarians need to team up with someone. Britney Spears is that. She's getting new lawyers and a new conservatorship, and she doesn't have her own rights yet, but she at least has the right to appoint who she wants on her team.
And she's apparently back on the Instagram over the past week, and she poses naked and puts little strategic flowers where they need to be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it seems like she's,
I think she has the right to in her life like the rest of us. You know?
Seems like she's all there to me.
Yeah.
Anatomically, anyway.
Anatomically, anyway. Yes, but for Sagittarians everywhere, this is really very good energy. And the nice thing about Mercury being retrograde is that they can negotiate because the group is going to come to the Sagittarian.
Okay.
And the Sagittarian is going to be the one that cares the least about the outcome. And in any one-to-one negotiation, the person who appears to care the least about the outcome controls the relationship. Whether it's a love affair, whether it's a negotiation, whether it's a business type of thing, whoever seems to care the least is in control. For Sagittarians, that's them. So it's good news for Sagittarians.
Okay.
You have to like that. For Capricorns, this is not the easiest of energy for Capricorns, which is what I think Jameis Winston's feeling right about now. Because this is at the top of their chart. And people are making judgments about the Capricorn, and they've been sort of waiting to hear what the answer is, and they find out that answer on Wednesday is kind of the thing. And unfortunately for Capricorns, there's nothing they can do to impact that answer. It's all that has already been done. They're just waiting for the, do I stay, do I go, what do I do?
Yeah.
But they get that answer by Wednesday or Thursday for them, and at least they'll know one way or the other.
He started off hot that first game, and now he's been pretty pedestrian.
Yeah.
Up
Yeah,
until
and then
now,
and then he realized he was playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So for Capricorns everywhere, this is it's sort of a judgment day for them, but they can't do anything to influence the outcome. That's already sort of been set. So at least they'll find out.
All right.
And to me, I would rather know. It's the not knowing that makes you crazy. I would rather know one way or the other what was going to be occurring. So.
All right.
For Aquarians, this is great energy for Aquarians. This energy is in the ninth house of legal matters, educational matters, travel matters, important matters, all go very favorable for the Aquarian. And if the Aquarian ever wanted to take advantage of a loophole, this is the great time to do that, to use that type of energy. So,
Loophole.
yeah, loophole, something that,
Okay.
a loophole is the only way to describe it. It's not exactly illegal, it's not exactly kosher, and it gets the Aquarian what the Aquarian wants. And to Aquarians, they say results are what count.
Okay.
So it's not bad news for them at all. I think loopholes are there for a reason.
Okay. So
That's why I pay an accountant. I want to know. That's also why I pay a lawyer. For that very reason, because
Gotcha.
they know
Okay,
more than I
get
do.
you now.
For Pisces, this energy is about money. It's about other people's money, the resources they share with other people. They have been trying to get a straight answer regarding finances and money and either it's a loan from a bank, but they've been trying to get some sort of financial information, and it has not been forthcoming. But at last, that information comes probably Wednesday or Thursday at this full moon, at this new moon, and at least they will know what they can do to go forward with something. And it's a matter of other people's money. It's not the income that they earn. This is the resources they share with other people. They at least get word one way or the other about what that particular outcome is.
Ooh, could it be like all going in on a Powerball ticket?
I'm all
and
for it.
winning
I'm
that?
all for it.
Now, is it somebody obviously with a Pisces? Like, is there a certain partner sign
Pisces
other
would be
than
like,
just in
yes,
general?
we don't have a Pisces here to send because they,
What's the birthday on those again?
pardon me?
What's the birthday of the Pisces?
Pisces runs from February 19th to March 19th. So,
I have quite a few Pisces in my life.
well, send one out to buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Because they
Well,
have,
one of them's not old.
but although, if that lottery ticket is being drawn tonight, the moon's in Virgo. And if that's the case, then, God, Aquarians are likely to win it. So we need to send an Aquarian out.
I would say my dad, but he all of a sudden was, for years and years, his birthday was the 20th of March. And then I told you, remember he changed?
Yeah, he changed it.
Changed his birthday. Said no, they got it wrong. So all my life we've been celebrating my dad's birthday on March 20th. Now he wants to make it the 19th.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know what you call him.
I'd call him a cuss baby either way. But I would send him out to buy a ticket.
All right.
That's what I would do.
Worth a shot?
Just in
For
case.
Aries, yes, for Aries, this energy is in the seventh house of partners and intimate one-to-one relationships. And there's going to be dialogues for Aries everywhere about the relationships that they're in and this is more about the partner saying, I want what's equitable. I want what you have. I want to have the same rights that you have. And I want us to be able to reach a common ground is what Aries are trying to do. And it has to do with their public image. It has to do with their responsibilities. And they need a partner to make that all go. So there are very intense partnership conversations that are going to be had all week long for Aries and where they stand and where it's going and that kind of a deal.
My daughter dyed her hair blue.
I like it. Raised blue?
Yeah, it's like bluish all of a sudden. I'm like, what's going on? Actually, I was just trying some stuff out, and I was like, okay.
A new public image.
New public image?
Yeah. You know what she's going to find out about blue is that thing fades to gray really quickly.
Oh, really?
Unfortunately, yes. My daughter found that.
That's just great.
Yeah, it's like then you have gray hair. It's like nobody wants that.
Good.
Nobody
I
wants
like the
that.
regular color.
That's right. She'll go back to her regular color after that. It lasts about a week. But for Aries everywhere, it's about their public image, and they're trying to do something new with that. And to try something new with partnerships too. If they're single, they'll attract someone. If they're in a partnership now, there'll be discussions about everybody's rights within the relationship. Because Aries can sometimes run roughshod over people. They're assigned as the ram, and they try to hit things head on. And if they don't fall down, they hit them harder.
Gotcha.
And I think in this case, a little tact, a little bit of meeting somebody halfway would be a good thing for Aries everywhere. So, for Tauruses, it's about work. And because this is the new moon within Libra, which is Taurus' sixth house of work and responsibilities, and Mars is in there too, so there's a lot of action going on there. And there's going to have to be some compromises there. And some people are going to have to give in a little bit. Everybody's going to have to kind of give just a little bit, because the very definition of a compromise is nobody gets everything they want.
Okay.
But the end of the day makes for a more efficient workplace, a more smoothly running workplace, and a new attitude about that particular job.
Okay.
If that makes sense. I don't know. You're hiring people. I don't know what we're doing here.
No, not yet. But I got some meetings tomorrow.
Oh,
so.
okay. But the upshot is Taurus looks really good as a result of it. That's the
Oh.
thing you need to know.
Okay.
And the trouble with that is they go, golly, you did such a good job with this. Can you do that? And you're like, no. But of course you're going to say yes, because Tauruses have a minute that they're not doing anything. But it's that kind of a compliment thing. Like, you've done a great job with this, and because you did that, you could do this. And you're like, that's not exactly what I had in mind. I was kind of hoping to rest a little bit on my laurels. Like, yeah, no, not going to happen. More stuff for you.
Keeps on moving. All right, gotcha.
Yes, it is definitely movement. For Geminis, they just want to have fun. They don't really want to go to work at all. They want to have a good time. They want to carouse. They want to carry on. If they're single, they want to attract someone. If they're married, that goes well. They have a real desire to partner up in a romantic love term. This all has to do with love and creativity. So, if anybody's going to get lucky, it's going to be the Gemini.
Oh, snap.
And the fifth house also is gambling and speculation, so hopefully you'll do all right with your fantasy team this week.
She's talking to producer X. She's
Yes,
staring at
yes,
him.
that's
He
why I'm
doesn't have a
staring
mic
at
in
him,
front of
because
him
he's a
right
Gemini.
thought
And
we
I
were
also
agreeing.
think we should, out of this group, you're the one that should go buy the lottery ticket first, because the fifth house is gambling and speculation.
Now, Janet gave me $5 to go buy a lottery ticket, so
Yeah.
I'll
Hang
throw it
on.
Why
down
don't you get
for
two?
all
Hang
of
on,
us.
Yeah.
hang on.
I
I'm
got
grabbing my
$5.
I
wallet.
say
I'm
everybody,
Apple paying you
everybody
right now.
throw in some change. I'm gonna go get it.
That's right.
Looking to see what I have here. If
Right
not,
on.
Hey, I gave you
rescue.
5. I got AJ covered. I got AJ
No,
covered.
throw it in. We want more than
Hey,
two.
right? Exactly.
That's
Why
two.
not?
Janet's got
Why
two
not?
tickets.
Wow. All of a
Yeah,
sudden,
I've got a
You only
10
win on
spot,
one.
so
Producer X is
there we
collecting
go.
cash.
Make sure you
I'm
get
Apple
the
paying you,
Powerball.
so.
Put the Powerball on
Yeah,
it. There you
exactly.
go.
I got you guys.
Exactly.
Don't worry. Gamble right now. It's a gamble.
I'm just saying, out of all of us. Like, but that's the Gemini thing. That's right. The other guy's having a tough time with this energy are Cancers, because this energy is in the fourth house of home. And Cancers, they're known as a creature that has no vocal cords.
Yep.
So they could talk about everything under the sun other than what's wrong. And then you got to play 20 questions and drag it out. And I don't know that the people at home want to play 20 questions. But that's really where their attention is focused. There's some sort of, I don't want to say it's a dispute at home, but there's some sort of inequitable thing at home. And that needs to be corrected. And that means a Cancer is going to have to volunteer what it is, what they think is the right thing to do, and then they're going to have to compromise with whoever it is that lives with them.
Well, we have a cancer in our family who's going through some hard times right
Yeah.
now, and has just gotten into a rehab situation. And I think we're hoping that it.
This is a good time for that to happen.
Yeah.
If they were ever going to see the light and be
Yeah.
able to deal with it, they would be able to do that. But then there are goals that they have to meet before the people at home
Right.
say, okay, we think you're really for real this time,
Okay.
kind of the deal. But I think that if they were ever going to make that happen and see the light and be able to act on it, it would be at this new moon this week.
Cool.
So I would be cautiously optimistic
Okay.
about that,
Like that.
you know. For Leos, great energy for Leos. You can negotiate just about any kind of deal you want.
Oh wow.
You know, where you're trying to do stuff with work, this one's going to go, okay, well, I can meet you halfway on this, but it's going to cost you. And this is what I'm going to want out of the deal. And Leos actually have the leverage in this particular case in the negotiation. So they are going to have to meet you halfway rather than you meeting whoever it is you're dealing with halfway.
What if it's another Leo, though? Because I got this Leo at the house that I'm trying to negotiate with some housework right now, and kind of...
Two Leos?
Yeah, two Leos.
Hire somebody. Hire somebody.
That's probably
Pay
what he
somebody
would
come in and
say,
do it.
actually.
Hire somebody. Much cheaper in the long run. Otherwise, you're going to bang your head against the wall trying to make that happen.
Yeah,
So, but that's where the negotiation is coming from. Also, some short distance, short duration travel could pop up. And some sort of small contract. Not a big contract, but a small contract.
Okay.
And a good bluff is going to work with that. Because Mercury is retrograde, I would use a bluff this time.
Okay.
So, and with your Leo, the thing I would hold over his head is internet access, because you control that.
Oh.
You know, I'm a huge fan when people say, what can I do to get my kid to do what I want? Turn off the internet. You'd be surprised how quick they come and say, what? A long time ago, I bought my daughter a cell phone and started calling her, and she didn't answer. It was like, okay, so I turned it off. And then, of course, I got a call from my daughter. What's wrong with my phone? I was like, oh, it is working. Okay. Just checking. Just wanted to be sure.
Strategy. I actually had to make it where he has his own amount of data. I have my own amount of data because he was just blowing up the data.
Eating up your data.
So now if he runs out, he's on his own, and I'll have mine. So they'll see how, hey, it was me. So there you
And
go.
then there is some negotiating to go on.
Yeah, then you
It's
start
going to cost you, buddy.
negotiating. Right. Nice.
That's that upper hand I was telling you about. Yes. Yes, you got to use what you can. For Virgos, it's about money. It's about making more money. It's about maximizing money. But Virgo needs to know that they need to team up with... Virgos are big fans of being alone because Virgos are picky and they're critical and they want everything done exactly the way they want it to do.
Right.
This time, in order to make more money, Libra, they're going to have to partner up with someone else to make that happen.
Okay.
Which is not a bad thing. And if they do that, and this is earned income, this is not necessarily investment income or gambling income. This is income that they earn through the fruits of their labor. But they're going to need someone else to help them do that. They can't do it alone. So that's not bad news for them either. So overall, even though Mercury is still retrograde, I'm cautiously optimistic with the new moon in Libra joining Mars there and Mercury that things can begin to straighten out a little sooner rather than later. So tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac.
Wow.
There you go.
That's all of them.
Podcast, Star Guys podcast each week right here on 98rock.com with the Crash and AJ blog.